The conversation with Matt yesterday, too, he was very positive about the Bills. And, why would you not be? Win totals there. Remember, for years, we would look at the win total as not a bad sign, but sort of like a realistic reflection of what, not just fans thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that went the other way, and we would do the same thing. Like, don't worry about it. And right now is also don't worry about it. 11.5 wins, easy division favorite. That's the thing about all the back and forth about the draft and receivers. Like, they still should be fine. They still should be a team that wins a lot of games, wins the division again, and then it'll be about, well, how healthy are you, and can you make the plays in the end? I don't know, though. Like, for as much even intense conversation there was after the draft that Brandon Beane kind of brought on himself, what scares you? I don't know. Like, what scares you about them? What would be the thing? Maybe their defensive front, all touched up and younger, with Bosa as well, and other veterans. I mean, they did everything there. Maybe they'll be dominant.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of ding them, and not wrong necessarily to ding them for the guys that are going to be suspended, but they'll come back after 6 weeks, and I'm still I was very excited about Hoyt, and then a few days later we found out about the suspension looming, and it sort of took some of the wind out of it, but they've done they did a lot up there to that defense, especially they've completely overhauled that defense. Daquan Jones is still there. I thought he might even be someone who could be on his way out. But they've added a bunch of dudes. So, yeah, if enough of that goes right, but I don't know what really worked. I don't have, even the receiver that a big part of the thing to me that all this, this all-encompassing wide receiver debate that got so much gasoline out of Brandon Beane, I was not prepared to walk in here on Monday afternoon after the draft. Really, I would have liked to draft a receiver sooner than that, and that would have been like the end of it. I doubt it would have been the end of it, but it was not like an agenda or some like I'm bloated for bear. You haven't done the thing I wanted you to do. I said it right away. I like the first 4 picks especially. So like I didn't. Would I have liked a receiver instead of one of those guys? Sure, but I like the guys, and if 2 of those guys hit to some extent, that might be enough to change the fortunes of your defense. You get an edge rusher who can get you 6 sacks or 8 sacks in part-time play. That would be incredible. And certainly you're hoping for more than that out of Hairston. I think you're hoping for him to be a full-time starting player for you. So, you've got shots at getting better. And then I'm not even mentioning Bosa or Hoyt or Ogunjobi. Again, 2 of those 3, the last 2 will miss 6 games. But I'm not really worried about anything.
That's what makes me nervous.
To be honest with you about them.
Yeah, what would it be? Roland is with us. Hi, Roland.
Hi, guys. Good question. And I thought, if we fritter away a couple of games early and then another few more, we end up 1 game short of having home field advantage all the way throughout. That's something we haven't had, and maybe that's what we need to win that last game to go to the Super Bowl. We haven't had it. And to get there, you can't lose games you need to win.
I think about last year for this and just can't bring myself to think they could have done really any better.
Yeah, the two games early that they lost, sure, they were back-to-back, and you would have liked to at least split there, but there's no shame in losing to either one of those teams on the road.
The Houston game was not good. 9 for 30.
Yeah.
And they end up squandering possession late in the fourth quarter. Houston gets the ball and just kicks a field goal. They beat Detroit. The Ram game was kind of wild. I don't know. It was not a year where I feel like they were a team that should have been better. Like what you had, is this just settling? Is this stopping short? What you had is Kansas City just had a perfect,
just so out in front,
lucky,
right,
year, and they're good enough to win games, but they were just charmed. And the Bills go and win 13-3 going to New England in Week 18, a game they probably win if they want to. And it just wasn't enough to touch the Chiefs. So, yeah, you go on the road instead. What does it do to this that Buffalo lost at home the 2 years prior in the playoffs? Does that wouldn't that slow you down a little bit?
Yeah, I think if you're being totally honest and objective about it, you'd have to admit that it slows you down some.
I remember Mahomes in the locker room after they won here, screaming to his teammates, "They wanted this!" We did. They did.
Yeah, we did.
It was
sure.
Get them at home and see what happens,
Yeah.
and you saw what happened. So
I still would want it. I'd rather play here than there, but it's I know it has. They've lost 2 years in a row at home. No, that last year they ended up the 2 years prior. Anyway, yeah, it's but I still would want the week off more than the home field. Like that has always been the prize to me.
Well, you can aspire to it. Just really, they look like a team that should be or could be in that conversation. And maybe Kansas City isn't for some reason. Maybe this is the year where you get that. You reach that goal. It does seem like a big deal. Thanks, Roland. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. This is WGR.